I would do a live video. Okay, it's reconnecting. Um, it is, I think, 6. I've been up since for a couple hours now. Yeah, it's a little after 6. Um, I had a very interesting past. Well, since I woke up, I went and did a little DoorDash because I've been hiding in the air conditioning and working on my schoolwork and working on the media stuff, news media stuff, my Facebook information about the autism crisis that's going on. It I think was first mentioned really about sometime last year, in the last since the ICD-11 updated in 2022. Since then, sometime between then and the beginning of last year, they released like there's an autism crisis. Anyway, so I'll work on that. But I have been scheduled to have some kind of epileptic event sometime the past couple days. That has not happened, and in the next couple days. And I took a delivery to the airport. Made $20 to take a delivery to the airport at 4 a.m., 3:30, 4 a.m. He was a maintenance person. Pulled up, told him a joke because he was standing outside, and my car looks like one of the white cop officer vehicles a little bit. Anyways, it's often that I will talk to some of the ladies that work at some of the restaurants in not just some of the ladies. There's some of the younger men, some of the particularly young white males, and my age and older black women that are very helpful with me, because I have weird timing. Is I have a type of Tourette's is what we're going to call it from here on out. Is I have a type of Tourette's that I don't take any kind of that I can't take any kind of medication for, and so people notice that sometimes in my movements, and they can tell that. See, the interesting part of the type of Tourette's that I have is that when I get, am under stress, not really when I get stressed out, but when I am under stress, like pain, yeah, it's always a type of pain. I will, um, specifically female pain, and like my cognition is a little fuzzy. Mental illness, when I'm dealing with mental illness symptoms like the cognition problem, or the precursor to mental illness, instead the symptoms of a motor disorder manifest. And I have just been helped out so many times by the women at some of the restaurants close by down Lawrence Road. Sure enough, like I'll talk to somebody or it's not that the point is that I'm not speaking. Like, it's not me talking, is they will start a conversation with me for a minute, and I'm very like, what's going on, very observant, and a genius when it comes to um word in linguistics and stuff, but I am slow at it because it's not something that I've done on purpose. It's natural. And so, but and that's really similar to exactly what the epilepsy symptoms, the grand mal episode. Well, not yeah, the epilepsy symptoms situations, the grand mal episodes, because it is a situation where, like, all of a sudden, I have blinders on, and it is like a literal functional, like, situation that happens neurologically, that, and is I mean, I guess you can use the word you know manifestation, but I don't really know. I'm assuming that it does happen because it is the same situation, because of the syntax injury that I have, as I am motor disabled, as I have autism spectrum disorder. So when I'm talking to somebody, sure enough, like, it takes me a second to process what's happening, because I have a natural, you know, part that's missing. Similar to missing an arm or a leg or something, that is autism spectrum disorder. So, I get this feeling like, you know, if you've ever experienced like deja vu, it's like that, but it's a full body thing. It's first it starts out with I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've experienced it when I wasn't sick too. Actually, when I was younger, it's been a long time. I think that maybe had to do with heavy weight, because I used to weigh a lot more, and diabetes and functional stuff. But I have it's a pattern recognition thing. And so people will show body language and signs and stuff, once they make a decision in their mind, especially if they're doing something like working on a line, like, making or preparing your food, doing something. It's not just like you didn't call them, like, hey, come here, or ask them a question, and it's something that somebody's making a decision to do, like, you can pick up, if you're watching someone, you can pick up on patterns, most of the time, like, normally, people don't, even me, most of the time it's not a situation to where I, get a feeling rather than, intellectualize it. But when I'm sick, or worn out in specific ways, I have a little bit of a contradictory movement going on. If you're in a box, it's there's four walls around you, and a top and a bottom. So it's like, if the injury, or like, is on the left side of your brain, yeah, then like you're gonna lean, if you lean into it, it does one thing. If you move away from it, it does something else. Um, Not something I choose. The thing is that sometimes, really what it is I get disoriented. And that has to do with when it gets really quiet. Um, and when I haven't been doing a lot of talking, or I don't have enough to do, kind of thing. So um, I figured that out. Um, I just kind of saw that in the last couple, like probably about 30 minutes ago, where I was just like, that's what that is. And that is a literal, that is, like a seizure. Hopefully that's a sign that I won't be having any kind of episode. I may have just been, also getting too hot and too much stuff changing at once. Because I did just re-entry the college program. This is my second month, so I have 1 month under my belt. And that matters. But I was pretty amazed at that. That I've kind of figured that out, and knowing it means I can have some control over it. I'm hoping that knowing this is going to stop the um, neurological events. I'm guessing the seizures or whatever that I've been having. I don't know if it's because I'm doing something, or if it's, if they can, stop completely. Ow. Oh, ow, that hurt. Oh. I feel more vocal than I normally do. Like, I do feel just exceptionally better. So I think that, let's see, May and June is the beginning of July. I've got 2 full months that I've just been through since I've stopped the Lexapro. And so some of those, like, connections and stuff, you know, may have rebalanced too. Um, because it is really hard to, one of the points about like lining things up and doing things a specific way and liking all that, and that being part of autism spectrum disorder, is the opposite of it, is having a really, really life altering inability to multitask. So and not knowing, like, you can't perceive. I mean, like, it's a mental thing. Like, I can physically multitask. I'm really great at making lists. Like, I have to do that. Like, I have to make lists. I have to think things through. I have to plan it, because if I don't, not always, but I have to prepare for changes within my neurology, and so I can work around it and stuff. But if I don't, like, I have to, it's a real deal thing that it is really hard for me to stop and just decide to multitask. It's really strange. I hope I can get a little bit more clarification in identifying the components of the autism spectrum disorder. So some of the crisis and stuff like that, like, so I can get that pushed through. Not only, if I got stuff legally going on for myself, for my name and stuff, because it is a legal thing, when there's thousands and thousands of people practicing malingering, and um, I could definitely sue somebody. I definitely, for all the stuff that I have been through. So, I'm trying to figure out how, the first thing to do is to make sure this doesn't harm me, and also my health continues to improve, and so figure out how the best to move forward, not just for myself, but those around me and my community and the people I love and care about. You know, Also my state, to be honest with you. I've had a lot of help always, so I just think that's really fair, for everybody. So, people that don't have, that aren't dealing with like their own self or their children or family member that aren't part of the autism crisis is what I mean. So, whether you're in that or out it, like, it doesn't take away the fact that, there are practicing communities around me that, say I don't have a right to live. So that's weird. And that I don't exist. Like, it's scary. I think it's gonna be a pretty good day temperature wise. I'm about to try to cut some of the grass just because it looks gnarly. My pain level has been pretty good. My cognition has been pretty clear. So I'm just all around pretty thankful about being able to like keep my memory every single day. It's terrible having amnesia episodes. I always remember who's president, but I can and always know what my name is, but I can't always tell you who I am. So that sucks. I can tell you where I am, but I can't always understand where I am. So, trying to keep that from happening and rebuilding the connections that made that, that knocked that loose. I'm guessing that's part of the seizures. Yeah. Today, Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Yes, it is July 9th. It is Thursday. Hope everybody has a really good day and stays safe and cool.